Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Tonight we have another scene in Edessa, the Dark Crusade. Gerard has been appointed a task by his baron. He is Keeper of Elysium, and Elysium was unfortunately not kept. There were certain intruders and certain compromises of security. So he has been tasked with finding these problems, and that is where we will start this scene in said Elysium, where the keeper and the seneschal of the city are both waiting.
Yeah, Gerard is looking over a map of the city and has some areas kind of outlined in ink where he is going to start his search, and his retainer is with him as well, his ghoul. And Madeline is probably there as well.
That she is, and she's also with her own ghoul for the moment. Again, a rather large man. You've seen him before. He's been here every time she's been. But you know, she doesn't really seem to have her books with her. She just seems to be waiting to have you pack up and get ready. It seems.
Gerard will assume that Madeline has given him more detailed descriptions of where he's looking for.
As to who he's looking for, or where he's looking.
Where?
Madeline would have given all the details. Out of character, I can't remember how specific details I have, or how.
So, when these people were invaded, I believe they gave, under the duress of Dominate, they gave certain names. They gave 2 names, and they gave a location of somewhere in the Arab slums.
Madeline will just relate all the information she got out of this person. And we'll just look at the keeper. So, do you have any plan of how you want to go about this?
Swiftly.
Sounds like a very good idea.
Gerard glances at Madeline with sort of a wry look and simply raises his shoulders and says, "It is rather short notice, but I feel that will be my advantage."
I shall help you, if you want my help, of course.
Any help would be appreciated. Very well. Let us go and meet our guests.
Well, let's say we overpowered them quite fast and incapacitate them. Where do you plan on taking them afterwards?
Gerard glances at her and says, "Well, if there's need of them in terms of being alive, I assume that you will tell me where they should be taken."
Very well. And she'll just nod to you, and yeah, she seems to be ready, and yeah, seems to get ready to follow you.
There is the distinct possibility they may know we're coming.
Well, that is quite likely, but we'll see if they are stubborn or if they have left this place before we come. And either
Either
way, I think it will tell us something.
Yes, either way, the trap must be sprung, I suppose. Very well. And so they stalk out into the night through Odessa's streets towards the Arab district.
So, do either of you have any underworld, either influence or contact?
Nope.
No.
The Arab slums are known to layfolk of the city as, actually, you do have small folk contacts, don't you, though, Peter?
Yeah, I do.
So yeah, you're kind of aware that the Arab slums is not the worst part of the city, but certainly, I mean, it's one of the slums. It's basically that and the Prophet's Quarter kind of make up the Arab quarter, and it's not that particularly nice area. There has been a spate of killings there recently that people have done various things about, and because of this, it is basically in the last month or so kind of got a bit of a bad reputation. And the area that you are going to is deep within it. So you basically set off. I believe you're going almost due east into it. The city streets are dark. They are crowded, or relatively crowded, especially among the kind of like main streets. There literally appears to be like kind of people have made almost like little tents on the side of the road. These are the people who are fleeing the advancing Seljuk army. Have you made a hunting roll, Andrew?
I just did.
Okay.
Right as we started, right as we were doing the
Right,
intro.
cool. Yeah, sorry, I saw Pete's, but not yours. But the city appears to be almost bursting at the seams. And although once you leave the kind of main areas, the areas that could be patrolled by the city watch and are relatively safe, this kind of dwindles away. And you enter the Arab slums. They are poor, ramshackle. The buildings are mostly fairly modern. However, though, seeing as how they were rebuilt fairly recently in the Arab style, so that were kind of flat roofed, that sort of thing. And you basically come to the street where you know this location, this house you've been given information is, and you see down the street the building, which is probably one of the bigger buildings in the area. Almost like a compound. There's you can see a kind of wall around it, and there's a kind of a big gate out the front, and you can see inside there's probably 2 or 3 buildings attached to the wall. And there does appear to be several people, or there is torchlight coming from within the gate.
Gerard will glance over to Madeline and kind of speak under his breath. Should we have informed Racine that we are here?
Well, I suppose we should. Well, do not believe that it's not his. And she quiets down even more, just leans in. It's not his domain, but...
They are his people.
Well, there will be other people we would have to talk to before that. But, tell me, does this not seem a little more extensive than you were led to believe?
Much more. And how many can we pick out?
You can't see any people, but there's definitely torchlight kind of coming from the cracks of the gate. However, actually, as you observe it, the door does open and a figure walks out. Madeline, do you have the dark sight currently?
I have it. Probably not. If there's people or chance of people, I wouldn't have it activated.
Okay, so can both of you make a perception alertness roll, actually, as you will get a brief look of this guy in torchlight before he steps into the dark street.
Okay. Perception. Alertness.
Obviously, if you have all specs, difficulty will be one easier.
I don't.
What is the difficulty?
6. So you have a single success.
Yeah.
Oh, real good.
I can't see your dice actually, Andrew.
Oh, I'm on Chrome. That's why.
Yeah. That's cool. I trust you. How many you got?
3.
So, you both see as this guy exits, he's wearing a kind of long dark cloak. But as he turns around and says one last, maybe it's a goodbye to the person at the gate, you see that he is wearing, he firstly has a big beard, and he's wearing what looks like a kind of tunic that has, or at least the front of it appears to be white with a red cross on it. And he's a Frank, he's white.
This is unexpected.
And he basically kind of says something to them, puts the cloak up about his head, and actually walks down the street towards you. He's not coming to you, he's just walking down the street in your direction. Yeah.
Madeline will stand there and speak to Gerard for the moment. Just go into the side. But she will just make eye contact with her ghoul, and like give a pointer over to this guy. And she will just whisper to Gerard. So, wouldn't it be interesting to find out where this man is going?
I think it would. I had not expected a Frank to be involved.
Well, we have seen them together before. But, as he passes, Madeline and, the 4 of them will begin to slowly follow him.
Okay, yeah, he basically actually proceeds almost the way that you came, down the streets. Do you want to leave the Arab Quarter to follow him?
Yes.
Yes, yeah.
Okay. He leaves the Arab Quarter and heads basically into the market district, walks through the market district, begins heading up towards Baldwin's Gift. And if you just keep tailing him, eventually he comes to the Templar chapter house. So that's the Knights Templar. And basically goes to the door, knocks, says something to the person behind the door. It's opened for him and enters.
Alright, and I've gotten enough of a look at him that I can remember his features.
Mm-hmm. He is, yeah. What I mean, if it wasn't, yeah, he is basically dressed like a Templar. He's wearing their heraldry and has the beard that is typical of the Knights Templar, which is basically, yeah, big. They don't shave, so yeah, big beard. And yeah, you would recognize him directly.
Okay.
So, he is both a Templar and a concerned citizen for some other people. Interesting. But I think we both know people who would be able to narrow down who this person is.
Indeed.
You would be aware that you have encountered the Templars recently as well. They
Yes,
were
at the Elysium before.
Yeah.
That's what Madeline alluded to before. And she said,
okay.
We have seen them together before. Well, she has.
Yeah, I wasn't there. Were they there when the Baron was attacked?
Nope.
No, it was before the Baron was attacked.
Do you ask about it when she says that?
Yes.
Madeline will just, well, there was a time when one of these, some person connected to someone, uh, I'm not quite sure who, was so stupid, but anyway, it was a ghoul, I think, who was attacked by probably these people. He came to Elysium, searching for protection. I convinced him that, well, to relax a bit by taking a drink, and, well, I didn't, he was not aware what happened. I told him to relax, and quite convincing. And then I gave him to them. But it was an imam and several Templar knights, as far as I remember.
An
They
imam.
were, yeah, they were the person from who has arrived from Baghdad quite a while ago. They were together then as well, Muslims and Christians.
So, to fill you in, Andrew, it's actually like common knowledge around the city. It's something of a kind of sensation. A imam has come from Baghdad, some special imam or something. Nobody really knows, especially the Franks. They don't really care. And he basically has been staying as a guest of the Archbishop Athelstan, and he has been given an escort while in the city, consisting of Knights Templar, which is obviously pretty weird and kind of ridiculous. People have been a bit freaked out by it, but the Templars basically don't broker any criticism. And he has been traveling around the various slums of the city, the places these murders have been happening, and has been attacked several times by who knows. They're not sure, and the Templars have essentially fended off these assailants, or that's what's been made public, kind of by the town crier and by common rumours. And yes, this group basically turned up at Elysium. They didn't come inside. But...
He walked very casually from that building, leading me to believe that either our job is done for us, or there's something else there to find.
I believe the latter is most likely the case.
Well then, back to business. And so they backtrack.
Cool. Yeah, when you go back, the street is much the same.
So torchlight coming from within?
Yep, it's still lit within. A few of the other houses may have some light coming from them, but the streets are very dark. There's certainly no street lamps or anything.
As we get closer to the building, does it appear that there might be alternative entrances rather than the front door?
So there is a wall surrounding it. This wall does have some windows. The windows are all on the second floor, but there are the buildings surrounding it are only an alley's breadth away from it, and potentially could be. You're not sure if there's a second entrance, but the wall does not look insurmountable. It's maybe around 10, 11 feet high. So
okay.
Not too bad.
Does the gate appear locked as we approach?
You can't tell from the outside. So it's basically a kind of large wooden door, like the kind of door that two people could quite easily walk out of. Or no, sorry, it's probably even a bit larger than that. Like a horseman could ride through it.
Okay.
Maybe like 4 people could walk abreast out of it. Kind of a gate to an entrance of a compound. Oh,
okay.
and sorry, no. And it has one of the doors has a kind of normal rectangular sized door into it.
Right. Okay.
And it does have like a kind of a cross, like a kind of like a window in it with bars across it. and a metal shutter that's a wooden shutter that's shut right now.
Okay. So we'll approach, I assume. Could we possibly, I don't know, maybe give a listen to see if we can hear anybody on the other side of the door or the
Madeline
wall itself?
Madeline, depending on how close Gerard gets to it, Madeline will just say, before we begin to examine this, perhaps we should. They do not know we are here, it seems, or they would be confronting us already, I'm quite sure.
What do you suggest?
Well, that is the question. Do we risk for them to know that we know of this place, or that we have tried to, with the four of us? I do not believe this is the best time to try to aggressively investigate this place. But that is my. I would like a bit more, well, a bit more people to potentially distract some people inside.
And we know that this information came from the two that were captured within Elysium? That this is where this place is and this is who these people are?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Gerard ponders this for a moment and then sort of begins to walk around the outside of the wall just to kind of get an idea of what the wall itself is consisting of. It's just like all the way around, or if this is the one entrance, or
If you go around the back, there does appear to be a back door, which is just a simple normal door, but it looks very heavy. It looks very secure. But yeah, and from the inside of that, there is a. You can again kind of see that it's there's at least some lamp or something on the inside.
okay.
It's lit. It's the room that it's inside is lit.
Gerard will make his way back around to Madeline, and much as he feels confident that he can handle whatever is within, he is also not totally against the idea of discretion. And so he will glance to her and then gesture away from the building.
Well, she will offer her hand so that they can walk together away from it.
Yeah, he'll take it.
She will, as they're walking away, she'll very lowly she'll say, "Well, I believe the first course of action should be to have a look at this place in a more, well, in daylight, shall we say."
Indeed.
The
And
people seemed, well, that we encountered, that gave us this place, seemed to know quite a bit of, well, about us. Which could mean many different things, but, well, it would be interesting to see if it is the same in the daytime as it is at nighttime.
I should like to know the Templar's business within this place. I
Quite
do
sorry.
I
Go
do
ahead.
believe an idea has come to mind, though I hope it is not the case.
Well, such an investigation is left quite well in your capable hands.
And so they head back empty-handed. Well, except for each other's hands, I suppose. After being thoroughly rebuffed by the wall.
Cool. Thank you, players, for playing, watchers for watching. Unless there is